All right. So today we are going to be looking at the ASQ Online and how to enter screenings. So I know we have, let's see, we have a disability services staff here. I'm not sure what the other staff people are, but this will be very good for you guys so you guys could see how the screenings look in ASQ. So first things first, you sign into the database. Log in here. And now here we have our home page, which is our dashboard. And here we have our program snapshot. Of course, based on which site you are located at, you'll have, this should look a lot more populated. I don't have any actual kids here, so it doesn't have any information here. But as you complete your screenings at your site and you enter them in ASQ, these numbers will start going up and you'll start seeing this chart fill up. Here we also have the announcement section. So this is where ASQ posts any updates to their website, any feedback, things that they want you to know about are here on this first page. We also have this quick link section right here, which is helps you just navigate faster to the sections that are within the modules of ASQ. And then we also have this little resource corner right here, which is really great because it gives you an overview of ASQ online. It goes more in depth on reports, how to add children, and so on and so forth. You don't have to worry about adding kids, but this goes through the process of how that works. All right, so going through the menu ribbon up here, we're on the home page. Now let's click on the My Profile. Here you'll see all of the information related to you. So this should be your name, your email, your position, all this good information about you. If you want to edit anything, if you want to resend yourself the welcome email for whatever reason, you can do that here in this section. This is just a general information part. Now, if we click on program, here we're able to see who has usage of the database, who has an account created. For example, in my program, which is the training site, I have these staff people and I can see what roles they play and what their job titles are, right? Um, Now in child profiles, this is where we're actually able to track our kids and their screenings and enter the screenings and then compile all of that data in here. The cool thing about using the ASQ online version versus using the paper version is that ASQ will do a lot of the calculations. ASQ Online will do a lot of the calculations for you, whereas when we're using the paper version, we have to do the sums and we have to make sure that we're using the right screening based on the child's age. ASQ Online does that for you already. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. You can search for a child in your database because, of course, you might have hundreds and hundreds of children in your program. So you can search, or you can also go through your child profile list, which would show up here. My example, I'm going to use Minnie Mouse as my child. And if you can see here, it opens up the child profile details, and then it'll go more into depth about who this child is and what their age is, what screening they need, if they are born premature, etc. And you can see here we have the exact age of this child, 49 months and 18 days. So that's how the system is able to calculate which screening it has to use. So we'll scroll down to child screenings. We'll click on add to create our first screening. And now we're going to open up the ad screening page. And in this ad screening page, anything you see with the little red asterisk, that means that we have to answer this question. We have to um, enter something there. We can't leave it blank. So the first one is the caregiver who completed the screenings. Screenings are meant to be a collaborative effort between the program and the family. So you select the parent. In this case, I'm going to select Max Mouse, the father. And then you select the provider who completed the screening. So who at the agency level completed the screening, select them. this optional section is just whoever assisted, so um if you have a teaching assistant or if you have a disability facilitator or whoever else assisted with completing this screening, you can add them here in this section. And then we go into the next question, the questionnaire type. And as you can see, it already is pre-filled to ASQ3 because that is the code that was entered to create this account. So that part you guys also don't have to do. That is already pre-filled for you guys when the database is set up. So you'll just select your option that's there. And then we have the longer short form. This just means if you want to see the full ASQ screening, like with every question's descriptions, with the details of what each question is referring to, or if you want the short one, which will just show you question one, yes, no, sometimes, question two, yes, no, sometimes. It's very brief. I'm going to show you guys what each one looks like so that you guys can choose whichever one works best for you. But to start off, we're going to go with the long one. And now we're going to select the screening date. Let's say that this screening was today, but if you were to do it in the past, like if you did this on the paper and now you just want to enter it in the database to maintain a record, um, you could select whatever date that was. It'll adjust the age of that child at the time that that screening was taken, and it'll tell you which interval that child fell into at that time. So I'm gonna go back to today's, and then you can see that it updates. Well, it's still 48 months, but if we were to go back 6 months, let's go back to like January. You see here it updated automatically to the 42 months because the child was 39 months old. That's something that's really cool because it takes away that extra step for you to have to calculate the months and make sure that it's the correct interval. All right, going back to today's. Yes. Okay, and now it already pre-filled our interval, and then you can add any notes, whatever notes you may want to add there, you can do that. Now, when that's all ready to go, we'll hit save. And then as you can see here, because this is the long version of ASQ3, it gives us a full description of what the question says. You can enter your responses for these questions, and that's what the long format looks like. So let's just fill this out here. Um, as if we were scoring this child. And then we'll add something here about what the child has been saying. Now, once you've filled out your page, you can select the next button and it'll go onto the next page and it'll automatically save your previous page. Now, let's say that you're in the middle of filling this out. Of course, you want to be focused, but something's happened. You have to step away from the computer. You can always click the save in progress. This isn't saving in progress because there's nothing to save, but if we fill this all out, fill it out, and then I realize like, oh, actually I have to step away from the computer, I'll just click the save in progress. And if I have to close this whole window out and come back to it, that's no problem because it's going to save all of the answers that I've added so far. And I can just pick up again from where I left off, right? And to pick up again, you're going to click on, well, let's say that you exited out, you're back in, you're logging back in. Now we're going to go back to that same old screening that we had already started because we want to pick up on that again. We're going to go again to the child profiles. We're going to select the child. And then we're going to go into the screening. Before this was empty because there were no screenings entered for this child. But since we started one, you see, now we have it here and we can continue working on it. And as you can see here, it's already scoring here. So it's already doing the scoring calculations for you here at the bottom as well. And let's move on to the next sections. And let's just fill this out so we can see what the summary report looks like. So once you're done entering all this information, you're going to get the summary report and a questionnaire summary as well. I want you guys to see what that looks like. But first, we gotta fill all this out. Okay. All right, let's save in progress. Okay, now this is the last one. And since it's the last one, we finally have this finalize button to submit our screening. So we'll click on finalize. It's going to tell you you will not be able to change any answers after you finalize this questionnaire. Are you sure you want to finish this questionnaire? We are sure. So we're going to hit OK. And now we have our information summary. And we can see here, based on the little stars, that's where our child fell in the ASQ scoring. The black is below the cutoff. The gray is close to the cutoff, and then the white is out in the clear, in the all clear. So this is a really great way for you to be able to monitor your children, to be able to have that visualization. And this is a really great tool as well if you want to use this for your parent meetings. It's really nice to be able to show the parents visually how their child is doing, how their scores are looking. Then for any questions that have the um, written portion, it would be here. You could see more details about that. You have your guide as well, so or whoever is reading this can be able to see what the colors mean on this graph. And then we have the individual scoring, so parents can see how their children scored on each question, or whoever, anyone can see how they scored on each question. Now we can also print this information summary. So if we click that button, it'll download the file and I can share this with the agency, the families. We also have the questionnaire version. This one will just print out the actual questionnaire that we filled out. So it'll pre-fill all of the information of the child and the family. And if we continue to go down, we'll have the actual scoring as well for each question and area. So this is really nice. I personally am a big fan of this because it takes away all of that calculation from us and it does it all automatically. And then finally, we have this print summary and questionnaire option, and this will just give you a combo of both. Again, a really great resource to share maybe with parents so that they can see the scoring of their child, and then they could also see more in detail how their child scored on each section. So that is the long ASQ um, version. Let's go in and look at the short version ASQ. So again, we're going to click into child profiles because that's where we can see all of our children and we can add screenings through there. And then we're going to click on the child that we are entering a screening for. Again, we're going to select Miss Minnie. And now we're going to scroll down to child screenings and click on the add button. Okay. And again, all of the questions that have the red asterisk, we must answer. So this is a screening between Max Mouse and myself. And then we're going to select what type of screening it is. We're going to select the short form, just so you guys could see what that looks like. And then we're going to select the screening date was today. Again, it pre-fills which interval the child should be taking this ASQ for. And then we're going to hit save. And this is the short version. So you see, it doesn't give you any description of what this question is about. It gives you basically no information other than the areas. But if you have already filled out the paper version and you just want to enter it into the database to get the reports or the questionnaires, this is a really great way to do that because it's just a faster process. And you don't have to go clicking through all the screens. So I'm going to fill this out again. Just going to go through and fill everything out here. I'm just randomly selecting anything here. I don't know if it actually even makes any sense. Hopefully our child falls within the parameters. Oops. Okay. All right. And now we also have these overall responses, which are the ones that require the description. Here we're just gonna say randomly. Fill it out. And now, since it's all on one page, we don't have to scroll through the pages. We can click the save in progress. If we're happy with how all of this looks, we can finalize it. Again, the system will remind you that you cannot make any changes to this questionnaire once it's submitted. Are you sure? We're going to click OK. And then we have the summary once again. And again, we can see our child is in the clear generally. And if you had answered any of these questions here, you would see the comments, and we have all that other good information as well. And we're able to print the information summaries and questionnaires to be able to share. Now, something I didn't mention earlier, let me go back into um, a long form screening. All right. So if you were to miss something, for example, let's skip this number 3 and let's go straight to number 4. Um, if we were to hit next, the system already automatically reminds you that this was not scored. So this is really great as well. I know that sometimes maybe just looking at the paper form, the numbers and um, the words all get jumbled up and it's easy to skip over a question and we don't realize until maybe we're entering into the system or reviewing the scores. Well, this system won't let you skip. You can't skip. So that's another really great thing about this system. And then again, of course, you're able to see your scores and your questionnaires. Mm, say yes all the way down. Doo, doo, doo. Okay. All right. And now we can finalize. Again, it'll ask you, and then we have the scores. Last thing that I want to show you guys from this homepage, or actually any page, if we click through the homepage, the My Profile, Program, Child Profiles, you're going to see that on every one of those pages, you see this green question mark. This green question mark will take you to the ASQ knowledge base. And actually, depending on where you click on it, so for example, if I click on it from My Profile, it'll take me to the My Profile section of the knowledge database. So this will give you any guidance on any questions you may have with navigating the system, using the system. Um, for example, if I go into child profiles and I select that green question mark, it's going to take me to child profiles and all of the um, knowledge bases that it has on that section. And then it'll show you how to do some stuff. You also have the whole guide here, so you can go to the getting started. You can do the introduction as well. Welcome to ASQ, user manual, navigating ASQ. This is just a really great resource for when you're getting started with the database. And you can also just save this page to your bookmarks, and that way you could just go right back to it whenever you have a question about the ASQ database.